Hey, hijas bellas. So I will probably be switching between Spanish and English here, just as a heads up. Um, I'm gonna start making some videos to talk about like books that I have been reading. In today's video, I will be mentioning this book here. My Time to Speak, Reclaiming Ancestry and Confronting Race by Ilia Calderon. She's an Emmy Award winning journalist. If you're Latina and grew up in a Spanish speaking home, then you probably recognize her from Univision. Um, and yes, public library book. I like to take books out every once in a while. In her book, I found that she has a really strong mother-daughter relationship. This is not always something common in Latino households, hence why I have this whole channel and these accounts, because I'm trying to help strengthen mother-daughter bonds, and that just means like we get to know each other and be more understanding of each other from an earlier age. But that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about her book, because her mom is a very involved person in her life. And she mentions how her mom, from a very early age, let her know to not view herself as a victim and to love herself and to have a high self-esteem. So the high self-esteem part kind of was just like a given based on the values that her mom taught her. And her mom herself was a very strong and independent person. So I really find that to be a valuable part of the book. And then you can kind of compare that to how she's being a mother to her daughter, um, because, well, in her case, she's like, her daughter is her only child, but it's really important to maintain those strong bonds. So we get like a good sense of that. Now, the other part of the book that I found really valuable is just her experience as an Afro-Latina woman in journalism, or especially like in TV, because she got to be um, like the first Afro-Latina news anchor in her country, Colombia. And then she went from Medellin to Bogota, and then she ended up getting hired for Telemundo, and then she transferred over to Univision, and she just continued to be the first Afro-Latina news anchor. And then near the end of the book, she mentions how it's really saddening that in her almost 20 years in national television, she has continued to be the only Afro Latina Spanish speaking that is on national TV. So these are the reasons why like these type of stories, testimonies are really important to know, because they can function to like give us like a fire, like a fuel, like just to keep going. Because yeah, if she would have had like the victim mentality or the poor me, she would have probably never gotten as far as she did in her career. But she might have had some doubts, which I believe is very normal to kind of like question, wonder. But she always like shared how she managed to have like this positive, or like in therapy sessions we call them like counter statements, um, to like impulse her to just give it a shot. So that's something very valuable from her experience, how we can kind of like limit ourselves or not. This reminds me of another book, but I'll make a separate video about that one because that's Maria Hinojosa's Once I Was You, and she's also in the journalism field, and her story is a little bit different. So, those are two things: her strong mother daughter bond, how she was able to like have a positive mindset, and then how she identified herself strongly as an Afro Latina, and how she was not scared to take on opportunities and challenges, even though there might have been like the fear that she wasn't going to get accepted because of her skin color. She does definitely share how there was a couple of times where she was getting overlooked, didn't wasn't considered for certain positions, but other people, other women were also like advocating and making sure that she was on the radar. So I'll share on a separate video a couple of readings that were meaningful to me, and hopefully they're encouraging to you as well. Let me know in the comments if you've read the book or if you're interested in the book. I do have an affiliate link with Amazon, so if you purchase the book from my link, then I do get a small commission. So if you're interested in that, I will leave it in the description box.